All right, our viewers, you're welcome back. Don't forget, we are still together with Comrade George McCary. You're welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Micah.
Yes, sir.
For having me here.
Yeah.
It's a mighty pleasure.
You're welcome. El-Rufai is now with the EFCC or DSS or ICPC. I don't even know.
Okay.
But
Atiku too didn't know. Just to remind you.
So
he said that.
I think his major crime is not actually embezzlement of money or some of the atrocities he committed while he was in government, but I think he uses his mouth to actually keep himself there, because I don't even know when he will be out of that place, because it's a treasonable offense as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So what will you say about that? Just briefly, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah,
because you are part of the people who have been persecuted by this same person. Did you actually see this coming?
Actually, karma has a way of getting across, even though personally I'm not a firm believer of karma, but I know that it can happen. I normally think that time and chance happen to all men. So I don't really believe in karma, personally. But you see, El-Rufai, somehow, Tinubu allowed him to play himself. Why did I say Tinubu allowed him to play himself? You see, most of these opposition voices, or let me just address your question quickly. El-Rufai had this coming because, just like you mentioned, treason, and not only treason, but incitement to public disorder, because El-Rufai is also guilty of sedition. Apart from treason, he's also guilty of trying to incite the public to public disturbance.
To rebel against the government.
Yes. So El-Rufai is trying to bring down the roof because he's not also part of the people at the helm of affairs. And what the Tinubu government did in arresting him and charging him based on cybercrime, because all the count 1, count 2, count 3 charges were basically on cybercrime.
Cybercrime.
That is tapping of the NSA phone and, basically that. Because they didn't even talk about the wild allegation of procuring thallium sulfate. But that's by the way. So the Tinubu government has saved this country a lot by arresting El-Rufai. I'm being honest with you.
Oh my God.
Yes, the arrest of El-Rufai is necessary.
Oh, you mean, are you in support of his arrest?
Of course, his arrest is necessary. Is necessary for national stability.
Does that has to do with you being persecuted?
No. It has nothing.
A neutral.
Listen. Well, from a neutral point of view, if El-Rufai had not constituted himself into the nuisance he became for public disturbance,
he wouldn't have been arrested.
No, and even myself, I would not even be interested in him. In fact, at the start of this Tinubu government and when Ubasani took over, I came in and I said something. I said, let us in Southern Kaduna forget what El-Rufai had done for us. Let's forge ahead. Let's show him that we're bigger than his nonsense. El-Rufai was a very petty governor. If El-Rufai was not a petty governor, when he came after me in 2018 to get me assassinated, because that's my speculation, he was not trying to get me arrested, but assassinated because he came quietly. Are you getting what I'm saying? When I was marked for death, I could understand why, because that was the eve of the election year of 2019. He came for me 2018. So I could see that I was a political liability
to him.
So he had a need to get rid of me in order to retain office. But when he went for Stephen Kefas, that was after he had already won the election.
Yeah.
So what was he going for Stephen Kefas?
So because they couldn't get you, so they went for Stephen Kefas.
But that's clearly what it is, because as at that period, most of them thought that Stephen Kefas was doing a lot of things for me. But Stephen Kefas was his own man.
Oh, were you working together with Stephen Kefas?
I was working with him, but he was his own man. He was doing his thing. But a lot of them were thinking that he was getting everything he was doing from me. It was not like that.
From you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he couldn't get me, he felt like... So you came for me in 2018. That's understandable because that was the election eve. Yeah. You went for Stephen 2019 after winning the election. That is vengeance. That is pettiness. That is pettiness. That's pedantic. That's how El-Rufai is. Now, El-Rufai knew that he had no chance of taking power.
Now, what do you think will be the implication if El-Rufai had not been arrested? And looking at the election that is fast approaching, what will be the repercussion of leaving him to campaign with all this knowledge and all this incitement with all at his disposal?
Thank you very much. The chances of him not being arrested is that there will be a lot of disorder, especially from the north. El-Rufai is having this penchant of inciting people to create disorder. Even if he had not been arrested, he will only create serious nuisance that so many of the northern youths might feel or may take a cue from him to feel like they can just say anything and do anything. Don't forget that they actually incited northern youths to rebel against the Jonathan government earlier in the administration, when the administration crushed the rebellion. Don't forget. There was a time there was this protest, Tinubu must go, all over the north. The Tinubu government also crushed a similar protest from the north. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know
that protest actually is actually from the north? You know,
exactly.
Do
you know the people who incited that protest?
I don't know.
El-Rufai.
Oh my God.
Now, why I was trying to build background before I get there.
I think I could actually believe you, looking at the fact that I saw a lot of people speaking against the governor of Kaduna State at that point in time massively. Kaduna, it was.
So, what I'm trying to make you understand, El-Rufai has been whipping religious and ethnic sentiments against the Tinubu government. He has been sharing articles implying, or not suggesting, directly saying that the Tinubu government is marginalizing the North, marginalizing Muslims.
But how true is that?
If we want to talk about marginalization started and finished in the previous government that El-Rufai himself was a part of. That's the Buhari government. Because the Buhari government was a strictly Fulani government. The security heads all were Muslims, they were Fulani. Nobody was shouting blue murder. We all put up, and the economic situation became worse under Buhari because he started what Tinubu is harvesting right now, and he mortgaged the resources of this country even before Tinubu took over. In case you don't know, I'm telling you now. So when you say that Tinubu borrowed a lot of money, Tinubu is still servicing the Buhari debt. If the Buhari debt was not there, Tinubu may not need to borrow this money. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Now, what I'm trying to make you understand clearly on this note is the fact that people like El-Rufai are very unscrupulous. They are unscrupulous people. They are ruthless. They are mindless. They don't care. They don't care to bring this whole country down, like burn it down, just for them to achieve their personal ambition. All right. And so somebody needs to rein him in. And for Tinubu to do that, Tinubu has served this country he has done this country a very mighty service. If Tinubu had not done this, I can assure you, by now, the polity would have been so heated. And the heat from the polity will manifest. It's timely. Now, a lot of people will dismiss this arrest as a political vendetta, especially those that are, swelling the El-Rufai rank. Like I'm talking about his support base. But what they don't understand is Tinubu is not afraid of El-Rufai.
Of course he's not.
You see, El-Rufai does not have any political leverage. El-Rufai is busy saying that whenever he goes to an interview, he will say that Tinubu is gathering, governors, that the governors do not determine who wins election, that is the people that determine who wins election, and he will keep thumping his chest and saying they are going to kick Tinubu out in 2027, and that these governors is gathering around himself will not save him that time, that even he himself during the presidential election he lost it in his state. And the Tinubu himself too could not deliver his state Lagos during the presidential election. What he was forgetting is that there's nothing he could tell Tinubu. Tinubu knows all of these things. But let's come to a clear fact. In Kaduna State, we all know that Ubasani did not win the election, even though, to God be the glory, he's a far better governor
of course,
than El-Rufai.
Of course.
Who single-handedly made Ubasani governor?
Erufai.
Thank you. So if governors don't have power, how could he
He wouldn't have
done that?
He wouldn't have done
And
that.
now he's trying to make us believe governors had no power. Are you normal? Because now, if you had no power, how could you have made the governor of your state? That was not possible. So Tinubu knew where the power is. You cannot teach Tinubu politics. He was not starting yesterday.
Thank you for watching MDTV.